She had 9 children, and she asked her pastor if she could have permission to practice birth control. And I think it's part of pastoral theology to make sure that lay people know that they have a right to follow their conscience.
I absolutely agree. It was interesting. We had in San Diego a diocesan synod on amoris after amoris.
Pastoral associate Aaron Bianco has been with the church for 2 years and says he's been the victim of harassment and hate crimes because of his sexual orientation.
We really need, in our marriage outreach and family outreach, to stress the fact that families are all-inclusive. It includes single people, it includes people, the homeless, the marginalized, it includes everyone. It includes gay and lesbian peoples, too. They're all part of our families.
Across the region gathered for a 20th anniversary Mass in support of the LGBT community.
Sadly, there has been an estrangement and an alienation with LGBT people. And the church needs to take steps to heal that.
What an amazing experience. I never could imagine I would have seen this day. The Bishop of San Diego on the altar talking to us. It was just amazing. We'll remember this day for a long, long, long time.
McElroy has publicly stated that divorced and civilly remarried Catholics can receive Holy Communion. This is the same bishop who has permitted a transgender to become a so-called Eucharistic minister.
one was aware of any allegation against Cardinal McElroy about abuse of a minor until this past summer. And at that point, it was investigated.
Pope Francis says that the Catholic Church is, quote, obsessed with gays, abortion, and contraception.
Pope Francis says bluntly that the Church has been too focused on the issues of abortion, gay marriage, and contraception.
In his previous position as head of the Catholic Church in Argentina, Pope Francis proposed backing civil unions for same-sex couples.
The redefinition of marriage is a public policy act. It can't be technically, intrinsically evil. Because up until the council, the Catholic notion of truth was we have the fullness of truth in the Catholic Church, and every other faith is in error. The Vatican Council said something quite different. The fullness of truth subsists in the Catholic Church, but the avenues to truth are abundantly available in almost every faith community. Now, Catholicism does not say it does not say we are the truth, okay? It says the fullness of truth subsists in the Catholic Church. It doesn't mean that we have the fullness of truth. It means in the revelation of Christ, we believe we have the fullness of truth. The idea was, look, we have the truth, therefore we have to, in the public square, give the preference to the truth. At the Vatican Council, what they say is, no, we have to give the preference to the conscience and the conscience rights of individual men and women and communities of men. So that's the shift that occurs, okay? The pastoral church must be a non-judgmental church. We must banish judgmentalism for the life of the church, that the pastoral cannot be eclipsed by doctrine. Yesterday, for example, we had an event in San Isidro, right on the border, where we brought together many leaders from different parishes, and in fact different faith communities of different religions, to pray for the undocumented and to pray for those who have been deported and are being deported. Last weekend, I was part of a interfaith group, interfaith clergy leadership, that marched on the detention center in Otay Mesa, which is right at the border in San Diego. The Conference of Catholic Bishops initiated a new level of structured national dialogue with the Muslim community to take a public stand against the anti-Islamic bigotry, to respond to this anti-Islamic moment in our national history, is to recognize and confront the ugly tide of anti-Islamic bigotry. The second challenge to the Catholic community in this moment of anti-Muslim prejudice. With my mother, what I used to say, I was going to do something, and she'd know I was leaning in that direction. It wasn't the right. She'd say this awful, what would Jesus do? And I didn't always know what Jesus would do, but I knew it was darn well not what I was going to do. All of us fail. All of us fail dramatically in our lives. All of us fail in different areas of life. Yeah. We're not going to be saints on most things. And there's certain things we're going to be far from saints.
This is one of those moments of great failure.
Authentic interreligious dialogue recognizes the duty for us all in our conscience to be faithful to our own religious tradition in dialogue, while recognizing that there are different pathways to God, which we always must honor. this, as you had this quote here about us living all together, all people of all faiths and no faith. Murray called that conspiracy, but he meant the Latin term for breathing together.